My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is P. Rosso of Gaming Adult, aka the Red Man and aka Bluebeard. Rosso, or whatever your name is today, thanks for being with us on Adult Site Broker Talk.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Always. So, with over 17 years of experience in affiliation and gaming, Gaming Adult have become experts in creating, publishing, and monetizing the most engaging games in the industry with over 15 million registered players. They are the two-time winners of the GFY Awards and the YNOT Awards. By delivering high-quality content and building communities with their players, they achieve the best conversion and retention rates on the market using a freemium model. Gaming Adult is the perfect solution to connect affiliates directly with their products by providing the best tools to attract users and make sales soar. Tools include animated banners, landing pages, iframes, and more. And there's instant stats access with real-time conversion data. Their most popular games are PornStar Harem, featuring top porn stars, Comix Harem, and Hentai Heroes, featuring hentai characters, Gay Harem, and Hentai Clicker. Rosso is the founder of Gaming Adult. He can be seen at pretty much all of the main adult shows with his crew. They all sport red suits. But you're going to know Rosso when you see the blue beard. Before he got into adult, Rosso got his master's in marketing from the French Business School, and he was working for Fortune 40 companies in France. So, Rosso, when do you think we're going to actually see sex with robots that can think, talk, and move?
I really hope soon, but I think it's not happening anytime soon. That's I think the the problem. It's a very big topic in the industry, especially with the sex tech people that are
Mm-hmm.
really working on how to connect gadget, how to connect people, how to make sex more interactive, and how to
Sure.
develop this idea of mental health and sex as a therapy through tech.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you could have, there are so many people that will need sex therapy or just some more than sex, like romance and attention.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could replace hookers by therapeutic sex robots, I think it will be just awesome. Even for sex education,
Sure.
that would be great. But when is that happening? You have huge problems for this happening anytime soon. First of all, the billionaires of this world are more interested in investing in missiles and killer drones rather than and killer robots instead
True
of
stuff. Yeah.
sex robots. When it's about investing in the doom of humanity, you find billions because I mean they call it defense. Okay,
It's
so
offense.
yeah, it's like the special operation that
Yeah.
Putin is doing in Ukraine. It's a special operation with quote mark, of course, and of course it's a special operation that is a defense by attacking the people because they feel attacked, and for this they
Yeah.
find a lot of money. But will you find money for therapy, mental health, sex education, and sex and robots? There's not only there's no money for that, but there's also all this prejudice that we have about investing in sex tech and sex in general, that the billionaires of these worlds have moralist investors that are evangelists and conservatists, and they prefer to invest, yeah, in everything that will not give you this freedom and this good health. I might be a bit politicizing this, but just a little. I think it's a reality that if you have an amazing team, an amazing project, and you're going to make it happen for sex robots that can really change the world and make people feel better, you won't find money, or you
Yeah.
will find little
That's
money.
sad. That's sad. Yeah.
And the amount of money you need for this project is insane.
I
We're
agree.
talking about insane money. So, but I would
They'd
love. I
rather
mean,
spend that. They'd rather spend that money killing people. I agree.
yeah, or making stupid social networks. So I'm not targeting any billionaire here.
Oh,
But
come
if
on.
billion
Let's target a few.
well, well, the thing is that there's not a lot of billionaires that don't deserve targeting, right? Especially when you're
So
talking
true.
about freedom of speech. I think a lot of people were hoping that Elon Musk would bring freedom of speech more freedom in general to Twitter, but I don't think it's happening. I think
No.
maybe quite the opposite.
Well, it's freedom.
So
It's
yeah,
freedom of speech as long as you agree with him.
yeah. Well, that's called dictatorship. No, I don't know.
Indeed, indeed. So, how do you think they're going to integrate sex robots with games like yours? How will you do that?
There's dreams and there's reality. So we can talk about
Well,
dreams, but
let's dream a little. Why not?
yeah, the thing is that our games are really specialized in storytelling. So we don't have
Hmm.
this very impressive 3D and metaverse and VR and all. Our
Hmm.
orientation has always been that we want to have amazing 2D better than very average 3D. And
Sure.
we are back to the topic of price and investment. If you want to make astonishing 3D, like Pixar level 3D or Disney level 3D, it's fortunes. Fortunes. We're talking about millions and
Hmm.
millions and millions.
Right.
So, if we would dream, we would make games that have a Ubisoft quality in 3D for sex. Give me 100 million and I can make you a good 3D game. Give me 1 billion and I might make a prototype for a sex robot. These are the price lines.
Sure.
So it's hardly realistic. If we are talking about things that could happen, we have discussions with sex toys manufacturers on how to
Hmm.
connect them to our games. But that means, like, if you want to have an interactivity on a sex scene, it means that our games need also to improve in terms of. Right now, we don't have videos. We are working on that for PornStar Harem. And when we have videos, we can maybe connect the sex toys that will have some type of interactivity connected to the video. We talked with the guys of Kiru when we met in Bangkok, and they
Hmm.
told us that they've developed artificial intelligence scripts that can recognize the movements on videos, so that your sex toy, once it's plugged on you, is going to move with the video itself. That could be realistic. Now you have all the friction that sex toys are expensive and
Hmm.
people that can afford stuff that they're going to connect on their genitals to live a sex experience in video and video game. It's
Hmm.
not a lot of people. It's still a niche market. That could be something we do in 2023, actually.
Okay. So in 2023, you see something where AI, sex, and gaming could work together.
That's the
Mm.
thing that we are interested. It's exciting. It's fun. I think we are naturally led to this. But now, okay, it's always this thing between the dreams and reality. There's a few layers of madness,
Mm.
uh, but we want to try. We want to try. I think everything we are doing is going in that direction.
Hmm.
So that's it.
Okay. So now your company is a leader in adult games, obviously, and many say the
Mhm.
leader. What sets your games apart from other adult game companies?
I think our hardcore specialization into storytelling and content, I think, is the biggest differentiator. Because we are really hardcore into making beautiful games, beautiful gaming experience, beautiful storytelling experience. That's really our stuff.
Hmm.
And the people in the team are really fans. We love porn. We love the universe, around the porn and the hentai and the video games and manga. We are
Hmm.
really into that, and the team is really passionate about telling stories on this. What's setting us apart is really the deep passion for what we do and how we do it. And it's not like money is not important,
Mm.
because it is, but I think for the team and for a lot of people in the team, the passion comes first, which might explain why we don't make so much money and the competitors make a lot more money, because they are a lot more efficient. They are less into passion and they are more into, like, let's nail the project. And I respect completely their pragmatism. So
Sure.
maybe in the future we will be a bit more pragmatic, but we still love what we do. And this is how we are seducing our niche also. The players that we have are very loyal. We have
Hmm.
players that have been following us for more than 6 years,
Wow,
and it's awesome. And we have this relationship with people that are really consuming the content in a very loyal way. So
that's awesome.
I think this is what sets us apart. That's us being hardcore and also being not into so much into the deep technology, but being more. I mean, of course, we have technology, but it's really about the storytelling,
Sure.
2D content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, do you consider your game Hentai Heroes to be entertainment or art? And why is that?
I think every content producer might be asking themselves the same question. If you're a YouTuber, are you art or are you entertainment? If you're doing porn, are you art or entertainment? If you're Bruce making podcast, is it art or entertainment?
I
Um,
don't think I don't think it's either, but anyway.
it's an eternal debate, and depending on the egos and desires of the people, the answer will vary. It goes back to the classic qualifications of art. I'm not sure I can really have them in the proper order, but you have these antique forms of art that are the classicals, the six:
Hmm.
architecture, painting, writing, arts of the scene, so theater, opera, and all. And I got lost already. I have just four. Did I say music? Maybe music.
No, you didn't say music.
Of course, there's music. And we've been around with these six forms of art for thousands of years
Sure.
until the 20th century, and the 20th century came cinema. And
Yes.
when they started with cinema, they were like, "Oh, we are a new form of art," and the classicals were like, "No, you're garbage. You're not art. You're just some stuff." And we, the classics, with sculpture, that sculpture that I was missing,
Right.
with sculpture and architecture, we are the classics, and you're just rubbish. You're just making stuff that are
You're sounding
inconsequent.
so French as you say that, by the way. I love it.
Yeah, I come from a family of academics, so I, I know I know how it is. And my parents were art teachers, so yeah.
There you go.
And the seventh form of art, they had to fight 100 years of cinema production to say no, cinema is not only entertainment. It can be entertainment, but it's also art, and you really have artists doing cinema.
Hmm.
100 years. So
Sure.
now there's more people fighting for this, and it's not like there's real official academics that say this is art and this is not. It's but there's not like an academy of the world artists that say that define this stuff. It's accepted that the seventh form of art is cinema. Then the eighth
Hmm.
form of art might be, this is being discussed, media, be it
Hmm.
magazines, TV, radio, blogs, podcasts, might
Hmm.
be. Of course, the old people of this world don't agree on that. And the
Sure.
ninth could be comics, cartoons, could be,
Yeah.
but that's. And then the tenth form of art could very much be video games, and I personally consider it is. So to have
Hmm.
my personal answer, but I recently read an interview from Hideo Kojima, who is
Hmm.
one of the most respected and most famous video game creator. He's the creator of Metal Gear Solid and plenty of Japanese games. And
Hmm.
he was in the interview, he was answering this question saying, no, 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 no. What we do is not art at all. It's entertainment. We don't have the pretension that
Hmm.
video games is art. It's not art at all. And coming from the guy that will be the most relevant to actually access to the level of top artist in video games, that he himself thinks it's not art, it's so humbling and a bit disturbing. So I don't know what to answer anymore after this. I'm like, okay, I believe, but if Hideo Kojima is not believing, who can believe?
There you go. If it's not good enough for him, it's not good enough for you. So how did you come up with the crazy idea for red suits at the shows?
Is it that crazy?
Oh,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
coming from a master in brand marketing like you, I'm sure you don't. You know it's not crazy. You know it's making a lot of sense.
Sure.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. A
I
lot of
see you.
people
I
are
definitely see you guys coming. There's no two ways about it.
in very short. It's a long work on brand marketing, coming with the idea that when you're nobody, you have to look like you're somebody. So you actually might become someone at some point, because
Hmm.
we come from nowhere. So we had to build the recognition from the ground up. But there's a very long and cool story about this, because I
Okay.
remember that it really started in Lisbon, I think 2014. My
Hmm.
wife was animating an exhibition at the embassy, an embassy there, a photo exhibition, and I didn't have anything to wear. So we go to Zara, and I see this red jacket, and I'm
Hmm.
thinking, wow, this is impossible to wear, so that's for me. And people in the embassy were really complimenting me about it, like, oh, you have this red jacket, it's really cool, it's looking good on you.
Sure.
And it was like a $30 thing in Zara.
Yeah.
And a few at the time we had a startup in gambling, and we went to a show in London in the ice. And I was like, what do I wear? I don't have anything cool, and I don't want to look like too formal, even if it's kind of business. But
Sure.
okay, let's try something with this red jacket,
Why not?
and let's have some fun. I mean, it's gambling. People are fun, and people were really like wowing the jacket, like, wow, this is so cool, so much
Yeah.
style, insane, and very cool. And they were taking selfies, and I was like, wow, okay, so that's a lot of positive feedback for a $30 jacket. And the year after, I go back to this show. It's like the affiliate show. It's like very close communities where
Hmm.
people know each other. It's bigger, but it's the same spirit.
Sure.
And I go and meet the friends that I met the year before. I say, hey, hello, how are you? It's cool to see you again. They were like, oh, but hey, who the hell are you? Back off! Don't come near me, weirdo. And I was like, oh no, but we met last year, and we were talking about this and that. I was like, oh, but you were the guy with the red jacket. Why don't you wear your red jacket? And then I thought, okay, yeah, I'm the man with the red jacket, because if people connect mentally to the red jacket, they will remember me. If I remove the red jacket, I'm another guy. And I was like, okay, let's go full speed on this concept. When I came back in the adult business in 2015, I came back with the red jacket,
Yeah.
and people were like, wow, this is cool. And then the concept evolved little by little. It became the red jacket, then the red suit, then the
Hmm.
red suit for everyone. And every time I've tried to push a little bit the limit of
Hmm.
the style and the persona, which led to having my beard red. So red on
Right.
red, I actually was not looking amazing. So this is why you will not see the red beard anymore. Yeah, there was purple ones, but it was too dark, so it was not so visible. There was blonde, but the same. So it was the same
Yeah.
thing. You try, you
Yeah.
iterate, you split test, and you see. And the blonde people were kind of doubting that I might be Norwegian or Danish, a natural blonde. And the red, they were like, the guy must be a ginger from Ireland. But blue, it's okay. I really have comments like, is it natural? I just had it once.
Oh my
That's
God.
just, yeah, no, I don't know.
They walk among us, Rosso. They walk among us.
Yeah, I told the guy, yeah, it's natural. It's a degenerative disease. And the person was like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like,
Sorry I
but yeah.
brought it up. Oh, really? So tell us about some of the new games you guys are working on.
This idea of PornStar Harem is really one of the first ideas we ever had. Because when we did Hentai
Hmm.
Heroes, the time was fucking broke, and I was trying to save the company and pay the debts, and we were like, okay, we make a game that where you're going to collect hentai characters in a very
Hmm.
Pokemon style, but hentai is going to be parodies of manga and all. Is going to be so cool. Um, and while we were building that, we were like, okay, and we will build this tech that is going to be a game for collecting and stories and all. What else
Hmm.
could we do if we want to reuse the tech to make new games? So I'm like, okay, the next obvious thing is, if you do hentai, you're going to do comic books,
Right.
comics, superheroes, and all. That created the game Comics Harem that we released last year. And the logic was, what else can you collect that will be cool in a sex universe? It came as a simple answer that yeah, collecting porn stars. There might be people in this planet that might be willing to connect porn stars. So let's
Right.
try it.
Right.
But over the years, we tried different versions, like making porn stars but illustrated, making
Hmm.
porn stars, buying some custom shoots with partners,
Right.
and we tried so many stuff, and it was just impossible and too expensive and batshit crazy. And
Hmm.
we came with this thing of using the pictures, and now we want to use videos and to use like non-exclusive content for now.
Hmm.
And I've been going to the shows since 2015, and when
Hmm.
I was meeting you or meeting the other guys, there was always this bizarre vibe that people are interested in what we do, they are curious. I like the open-mindedness of the community, but
Sure.
also they were like, yeah, but you're doing something bizarre. You make games and hentai, and nobody does games and nobody does hentai, so it's interesting, but can't you do something that connects with our industry? And
Hmm.
for years, I've been thinking, okay, how could I connect with dating, webcams, and all the cool stuff to have a concrete conversation and not an abstract conversation?
Sure.
And that's it. Little by little, we've been building the concepts of how can we make a game with models? How can we make a game with pictures and videos? How can we make a
Hmm.
game that will interact with the other businesses? And
Sure.
this is how we experimented with photo editing creativity, building
Hmm.
some muscle there. Um, and I mean, it's far from being perfect, but I think it's fairly interesting. Just recently, we've been partnering with models like the number one Twitch girl, Amorant,
Hmm.
with Sia Siberia, who's a cosplayer that's huge OnlyFans followership. And we want to push this concept to have more games using pictures, videos,
Hmm.
and models. So
Hmm.
this is one of our goals, and next year, early next year, we're going to release our first game using pictures and videos, but with trans. It was going to be trans PornStar Harem, and
Hmm.
then there will be gay PornStar Harem. And from
Right.
this, maybe we can even make mainstream games with storytelling based on Twitch models and social media models. I mean, that could be extremely fun.
Sure. Yeah. You can take it in a number of different directions. When it comes to PornStar Harem, how's it going and how are you enjoying the interaction with the porn stars? He
so
laughs.
yeah, 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 because the interactions with the porn stars can be very fun, especially when you're on the shows and you go to parties, you go to clubs.
Sure.
They are extremely fun people.
Sure.
So far, all the models and the porn stars have become friends, and they are people that are educated, open-minded, fun, that like to party, and that travel, and that have been to so many places. These are the people I like. So by
Sure.
definition, it's super cool. But when you go back to the office and you go to the part where you have to chase them to sign contracts, you have to chase them to read the contract, you have to chase them to send you the pictures and all, that's a
Hmm.
bit less fun.
Oh,
So,
sure.
so as much as they are fun people and all, sometimes it means it's not everyone, but some of them you would love to see a different level of professionalism, let's say.
They're not all professionals. In fact,
No.
it's probably a small percentage. Although I will say, in this day and age, it's getting better, especially with all the money available on places like OnlyFans. They are becoming
Hmm.
more business people.
Yeah, but then you need to really offer them something that is competing with whatever they do
Yes.
on OnlyFans,
Yes.
because it's not like Pornstar Harem can offer them $30,000 per month.
Sure.
Not yet.
Not
One
yet.
day. Not yet.
Absolutely.
We're working on it.
So, how is your company being impacted by the new and the upcoming limitations on freedom of speech?
Like all the adult businesses, we are restrained in our ability to express our art, because I believe that what we do is art
Hmm.
and is a pure form of expression. And instead of having the capacity of expressing ourselves and and creating cool stuff. We have to comply with, oh, this platform does not allow wet t-shirt, and this platform does not allow that you have people smoking cigarettes, and this platform
Mm.
does not allow. They don't like this this appearance of sexual gratification. It's like, what does it mean?
Jeez.
No, but there's sexual gratification because the boobs are too big compared to the proportion, and it's
Mm.
appealing to the what? It's because you have dressed people and they look
Hmm.
too attractive. Uh,
The world's
th-
gone
th-
nuts.
you- the thing is that since there are no well, there are some laws, okay, so we are compliant with all the laws, but then
Of
when you
course.
go to a platform that says, well, the law is something but we have our own personal morality, and you end
Hmm.
up with guidelines of morality that are super different depending on the platform. For
Hmm.
example, YouTube allows
Oh,
sex
don't talk to me right
if
now about YouTube, bro. I just
yeah
got banned for the second time in 3 weeks. So, oh god. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
because they allow sex if shown for educative purposes. I mean, what you do is educative, no? It's educational. I don't know.
No,
So,
they didn't
yeah.
like some of the links that I put with my podcast.
Ah,
That's why I got my second strike because I linked to a site that has porn.
okay, yeah. So let's say YouTube is slightly more permissive somehow, and then
Not
you get
anymore.
to Facebook, and I think Facebook even like I think even bikinis are too much for them. So
I don't know. So
so yeah.
far, we're okay there. My personal page had so many issues. I finally just shut it down and said I don't want to do this anymore. But that was during the whole Trump
Hmm.
thing, and I was over it. Yeah, LinkedIn closed my account. I still don't know why. They didn't tell me, and
Wow.
I was paying
LinkedIn close
them.
your.
I had a premium membership, and they just closed me down, and then didn't give me any explanation.
So yeah, I think that's we all have the same problems, that we are being monitored and nerfed, and the freedom of speech is becoming a distant concept. We will try to explain our kids and they won't understand.
Sure.
And I mean, nobody cares because nobody is willing to stand for that. Some rebels here and there
Hmm.
are trying to stand for the freedom of speech, but the rare species.
Nobody's standing up for our industry. That's the problem. With the exception of people inside the industry, people like Free Speech Coalition. But if there's very few people, at least in the U.S. Congress, that even want to listen to it.
But the moment you're a billionaire and you have your money on the stock market, you might try to talk about freedom of speech, but then you're going to lose 20% of your capital. So
Hmm.
there's no big incentives to go for this.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So it's very sad. It's very, very sad.
Mm-mm-mm.
So tell us a little bit about your LGBTQ plus games.
Yeah, that's what we were just discussing before. We are going to launch a trans game in a few months, like 2 months. I think we'll be ready for
And we'll
in
be
February for Qashqai's.
And we should have already that should have already happened by the time this drops. So that's good.
These are types of games that, to be fair, we are not making them with in mind making the dimensional profits, because when we started doing gay RM back
Hmm.
in 2017, anti-heroes was working well, and we thought, okay, what's the next project? We make a gay version of anti-heroes? Yes, we could. Is there
Hmm.
a business in it? Well, not sure, but let's try. And the conclusion is that it's very small. It's a lot. It's as much work as anti-heroes, but
Hmm.
for very limited revenues. I mean, we are not losing money, but at this stage, it's really a matter of really our own conviction,
Hmm.
because we could do something more profitable and better and bigger with our teams that are very talented, and we are using them on a small game. But we believe it's also important that we
Sure.
actually do this type of game. The gay community on GRM is so nice. they are actually super cool, and they are very grateful that there are some people that care about making a game for the gay community. So
Absolutely.
we are breaking even, and we like it, and it's cool. It's just natural that we believe that it's nice, it's fun,
Hmm.
and we won't do everything for massive profits, and that's okay. So
Well, and
some of them are just projects of natural conviction, and it's hard to put it into words, but we
sure,
believe in it.
sure. Well, like you said, your business is all about passion. That's the most important thing, is that you
Hmm.
believe in what you're doing. And the other thing about the gay space is, if you look at it as a whole space, which obviously there's a lot of fragmentation among the gay space, just like there is among the straight space, but the gay consumer tends to be a hell of a lot more loyal than the average straight consumer. That I know for a fact.
Hmm.
So while it might not be real profitable in the short term, I think in the long term, you guys are going to do okay.
That's true. No, but I mean we're going to do okay, of course. It's going to be fine, but it will remain small volumes. So if we have to be very pragmatic about it, we won't do it, and we will do something else. But
Hmm.
we are not always pragmatic. We are passionate about making games and
Sure.
about some convictions about, yes, uh, yes, freedom of speech and the overall reaching out. I mean, we like to be alternative. I think that there is something in us
Hmm.
that we really like to do what nobody's doing.
Sure.
And when I see that there's a type of game that nobody's doing, I'm like, well, nobody's doing it. Let's do it.
Sure.
um it's not completely rational, but I mean,
Sometimes.
life has to be fun, I think. I mean, at least that's how we try to live. So we want to
Well,
make it entertaining and exciting and have good relationship,
mhm.
and so not everything will be about the money. There's people that are approaching me more and more and tell me, but you're a fucking idiot, you could sell your business this amount, and you are losing this opportunity, and you don't realize that you could do this and that, and you're still doing your gay games when you could actually be doing mainstream games and sell it to Ubisoft and whatever and make
Mhm.
100 million. I'm like, yeah, okay, but yeah, sounds good, but I don't need that money, and it will not be fun. And if I sell my business to these big guys, I will do exactly the same business. So maybe I don't sell
Sure.
it, and I have fun right now.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and it's all about enjoying what you do. And
Yeah.
hey, if you're in the game business and you're not having fun, then I think there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
So, finally, do you remember when and where we first met? I know it's been a while.
Oh yeah, I do. I do. It's actually a very important thing. We
Ah.
met in WMA Amsterdam. At the time, we were fucking broke, and we were just getting out of the gambling, and we were just trying our we were in and out with the adult business. We stopped
Hmm.
in 2010. Then I was angry with the industry, thinking that a lot of people are sharks and don't have values, and I wanted something. I
Imagine
dreamt
that.
about uh, I dreamt about the mainstream people being so amazing and so nice
Yeah,
and educated and cool,
yeah, right.
and then got very disappointed with the slowness and the politics and the overall bullshit. When I came back in the adult business, you were one of the first person that were like, "Oh, you're new. Let's talk." And we had a beer in this barbecue bar next to the river. That there was a side party
I
after the
remember I
Hilltown.
remember that party. I remember that
Yeah,
party, yes. I think it was actually in the fall because it was WMA, but
yeah, yeah,
anyway.
yeah. It was in
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
fall. It was in
I
fall.
remember that party. I've actually got some pictures from there. They might actually have both of us in it.
Oh, or maybe you can find something in the archives.
I'll look. I'll look.
But that
That's
I
awesome.
remember that you were very, very kind with me,
Only way to be.
and I mean, there was you and there was JFK that were super nice. Like,
Mhm.
okay, you're new in the business. Apparently, you don't know what you're doing, and and you took the time to really tell me stuff. and I was like, wow, this guy is so cool. And Bruce is,
Thanks.
I remember how smart you were with your boxes with business cards that had your advertising on it. And I was like, okay, that's nice. So I remember very well. And thank you very much for being there at the time.
Well, my philosophy has always been to be kind to people and I know Elon Musk has the same philosophy supposedly, but let's separate the two right now. It's all about just everyone's the same. I don't care if you own a multi-billion dollar company or if you're brand new out of college, new in an industry, whatever. I just like people. I like working with people. And what ends up happening if you have that philosophy, and I know you have the same philosophy because knowing you and talking to you so many times at shows, it's just all about talking to people, BSing at shows, having a drink, and you never know what might come of it. If business comes of it, great. If business doesn't come of it, that's fine. It's interesting. I'll tell you a story. I used to work at a radio station, which I think I've told
Mm-hmm.
you, and
Mm-hmm.
I had a sales manager. He was Israeli. And this guy had a very, very white and black look at the world. Either you
Mm-hmm.
were with me or you were against me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Probably had something to do with fighting in the 6 Day War. I'm not sure. Anyway, he was a drill sergeant in the army. So this guy, and he was our sales manager, was like, oof. If someone spent money with the radio station, he loved them. If somebody didn't, they were fucking assholes. And I would be like, no, this is a really nice person. Okay. They're my friend. Just because they haven't spent money with us doesn't make them a fucking asshole. It just means that they don't have a reason to spend money with us yet. And I just can't understand people that are that white and black about the world. Money is certainly not everything. Money's important because you need money to get by. But, I'm 65 now and I believe it more than I've ever believed it that it's really all about people and it's just about being nice to folks and just the rest will take care of itself.
Yes.
So. Well, that's a great note to leave it. Rosso, I'd like to thank you for being our guest today on Adult Life Broker Talk, and I hope we'll get a chance to do this again soon.
I hope too. It's always a pleasure. Bruce,
My,
thank you very much for the opportunity. And, well, Godspeed. And I hope to see you soon.
the pleasure is all mine.